Aloha, beautiful. Welcome to my podcast, Journey to Healing the Divine Feminine. I'm Jill, your host. Thank you for joining me. As we do our own healing, we heal our mother planet Earth. Today we have special guest Martha Comfort from Seattle. Hello, Martha. Martha is a master mariner, dive master, and offshore sailor. Captain Comfort has written extensively for yachting publications throughout the US and Asia. Her forthcoming book, Shaman on the High Seas, is a plucky tale of encounters with the Numinous, a long and epic journey on the high seas, heartbreak, and her spiritual awakening amidst ancient indigenous wisdom keepers in South America. Her passionate voyage of self-discovery has taken her across the seven seas into the Austrian Alps, to the highlands of Papua New Guinea, and finally to a spiritual sanctuary in Chile where she receives ancient indigenous medicine. Again, welcome, Martha. It's so good to see you, have you here on this beautiful podcast. Your journey to healing around the divine feminine. Today, we're going to speak about the area of softness. Yeah, the beauty of softness.
Mm,
So I'm
mm.
passing it over to you.
Thank you, Jill. Such a lovely introduction, and I feel such warmth and gratitude, and just a deep feeling of peace when we talk together. There's something that happens, the magic of two women in connection, and those who may be attending or hearing later on. It just kind of gives me this little warm ball of energetic fire that I love. It just ignites me. So thank you for creating this moment. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's so much to think about with, you know, divine feminine. There's so much to come into with that space. And I guess all I can do is tell my little piece of it in the hopes that some portion may be exactly what another woman being on this earth may need to hear at that moment. Is that
Mm.
fairly much what we have in mind?
Yes, yes. So I know I'm excited. You haven't shared that you have this book coming out, Shaman on the High Seas. Wow.
I've had such a fabulous life so far. It's just been following my passion. I've been so lucky to be supported by parents who allowed me to go off and explore. And it's been just a continuing enjoyment of what are the things that ignite and that bring me the most into presence with the numinous, with the unknown, with the wonder and the splendor. And I guess one of the ways to describe that might be my very first encounter as I was a young person coming to recognize what's out there in the world. I mean, we all as children probably have this amazing connection with things we see or feel or empathetically know as we observe another person. But maybe over time these things can be shut down or yes, not quite fostered in a way. But I had the fortunate experience as a young 11, 12-year-old to go on a boat with my great uncle. And the moment where this magic ship of his, a sailing yacht, went out of the harbor and into was Nantucket Sound, but to me, it was the world. It was the great ocean, the sea. And I had a chance just sitting there looking through the mist at the bow of the boat to encounter this fullness, this, oh my goodness, I don't know what this feeling is, but I want more, please. So that was the drop of seawater, as we sailors say, that gets into the blood and holds us. Yeah. So that was a beginning for me. And it's allowed me, it's fostered me, it's made it impossible for me to do it other than follow my heart, which has meant a lot of time underway on the different oceans, racing sailboats throughout Asia, sailing both trans-Pacific and transatlantic, um, encountering a lot of really far away places, which I've been lucky enough to experience fairly fully. Um, One of the pieces as we think of the divine feminine, as I've pursued my career as a seaman, as a sailor, and then later on as a licensed captain, a master mariner, has been this tension between being, let's just say, in command. There's a vessel, there may be passengers, there may be guests, there's safety, there's storms, there's being prepared. And there's this incredible fullness of life and nature and winds and beauty and whales and fish, and how to balance those two needs, if you will, the yin and the yang.
Mm.
And so this has been something I was never aware of or conscious about. But as I've developed in my shamanism, thinking, wow, how have I sort of become this maleness of leadership while appreciating this beauty of nature, and trying to bring these things into alignment has really been my healing journey around the
Mm.
divine feminine.
Beautiful, beautiful. Wow, yes. And the nature, the elements, right? The water, the air, the sun, and the moon. Tell us about, maybe there's something about the magic, the mystery on the waters in the evening. Can you tell me, do you have like a little something about the softness in that?
Oh my goodness, yes. Um, the
Anything coming
moon
up
is,
for you? The stars, because we were all, the women were star navigators. The women were the ones who were the star navigators. I live here in Hawaii, and I want to remember, because remember, this is about a lifetime of remembrance. So um, yeah, it's so beautiful to see the women stepping back up to be the ho'okele, we call it, the captain on the ancestor, the canoes. So is there can you think about anything in the moment, Martha, where you were out there in the night and you had to maybe trust in that mystery, the feminine? Does anything come up?
oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Selene, the moon goddess, it, it's 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 so she is so powerful in following what one can't spend time at sea without being very aware of the moon cycles. It's every night that one is underway, you're waiting for that moment when the moon will come up and begin to illuminate the night, because oh my goodness, on a new moon it's awfully dark out there. Like there's stars, but it's not the same as when
No.
she graces us. And
Mm.
so there's this very deep consciousness with the way the moon cycles are going, and the moment that she will pop up from the horizon. Um, I think the play there that comes to me is the phosphorescence of some larger creatures swimming next to the boat, maybe, and the moon playing off of that. So it needs the fullness of the brightness of the moon to illuminate those tiny little shards of grace that come from a larger fish swimming next to the boat. they might be missed without her presence.
Mm.
So yeah, that's kind of what's coming to me, where there's a
Mm.
the fish are swimming throughout the ocean. They are surrounding the vessel at any time, but until we have that diffuse lighting to illuminate their movement, we don't see.
Mm.
We don't sense, we don't feel it.
Yeah.
So yeah, yeah.
So the honu, the turtles on the shell, have the 13 moon cycles. So beautiful.
I love
Um,
this. I love this. Yeah.
yeah, and the divine feminine. So the turtle, think about how they navigate and they have that migration, right? Um, and your adventures through all the seas, like I see that how the honu are guiding you. All of us, just being in that divine feminine softness. Um, talked
There's
about.
something so needful when that baby turtle comes up and it just knows, okay, this is great, this is sand, but I know where I'm going. It's to float, it's to bask in this great Mother Ocean. It's how do they do it? Well, it's nature, of
Right,
course.
right, right. And the womb, the oceans. I know, yeah, there's a chant, the Algonquin water song, right? We chant that about our oceans and really being stewards of the ocean, of our land, the Aina. So going back to the water element, the softness, if you think about the water, how where it's brought you, Martha, on your journey. Is there anything in this moment that's coming up to you? Um,
Mm.
yeah.
I feel that as a young woman and becoming enchanted or entranced with nature in the way I did around the sea, there there was a direction that I was called to, which was more like the conquering. There were oceans to be passed and
Mm.
rituals to be passed through and kind of storms that had to be weathered, instead of where come to more, as an elder, to be thinking less about these things as to be passed through and more to be absorbed, observed, part of, internalized, um, witnessed. And that requires this kind of softening process and lack of control, if you will. The
Mm.
sort of captain that must have charge of this and that detail versus well, here we are, and here's the swirling of information and beauty, and how do we feel that? How do we live and experience that to the fullest?
Mm.
Yeah, that's kind of where for me this journey has involved some fairly specific kind of mindset shifts, if you will, or consciously being able to take off the one hat control command and step into the experience this now,
Mm.
which is so much more fulfilling. I've
Mm.
found in
Yeah.
recent times. Yeah, so
Yeah, it's that
one doesn't.
balance. It's definitely the balance, the dance, right? It's a dance of life. You think about water, and if you watch water and the fluidity of the water element, Such beauty, such grace.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. There's a story that's coming to me as I think about a time I was in the highlands of New Guinea, where we brought a small inflatable boat and went down the Sepik River, which is a fairly large tributary in um, the center of the highlands of New Guinea, and had an opportunity to stop in villages that hadn't seen many visitors for years
Mm.
and talk with people there, folks wearing gourds and not much else about their spirit lives, and to see some of the spirit houses, which many were around um, around the worship of crocodiles and other natural phenomenon in their area. And it was at the time somewhat sad for me because I saw how it was very patriarchal. These houses were shaped, if you will, in patriarchal kind of edifices. They were not accessible to women. Boys and men could access these things. And then, as I've come as an elder woman to think back about some of the things we saw and learned, I realized that the women had this other kind of, let's say, soft power, if you will, over with through the community, which they were very comfortable with in many ways. So it's just one of the reasons I've enjoyed going back and reading through my logbooks and other, journaling to kind of recapture these moments and to retell myself and retell my story in a way that's more balanced, if you will, of what I believe the fullness of the life is. Well, yeah, it's been fun. I don't know that my memoir will be forthcoming in any particular time frame, but to have that opportunity to show adventures in a way that's now witnessed through elder eyes, I'm really having such fun with this. Right?
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. I'm so glad that came to you. Well, I think I know you're gonna offer a gift, a meditation for all of us around softening, receiving, right? That's part of that also of the divine feminine is receiving. So thank you, Martha,
Yeah.
as you lead us through this beautiful guided meditation.
So, in the way of leading by showing or by example, some of the things that have aided me in my quest to attune to the softening, just some of the little things that I have found is for me to create my space with any kind of fabric, with any kind of a way that delineates bringing in bringing in the female. And I'm a practitioner of yoga, as you are, Jill. And one of the great gifts that 3 decades of yoga practice has brought me is this awareness of breath, of course, the core, awareness of the energetic grounding, both above and below, the chord of space that comes between. And also a way of feeling into my core of my body, which I invite us all to try to just, with a breath, feeling that chord of light, and then sensing the power that resonates in the belly, in the womb space, in the second, third chakra areas, and just feeling even a muscular attunement to that which holds our fiery core, the part of us that is most internalized deeply. So I find as I enter into a softening practice to begin with that strength, if you will, giving me not a softening to dust, but a softening of into my power. So I invite us to just center into that kind of elongation of the light that is within, the divinity that is within all of us, feeling that heart source of love as it resonates up through the crown to the heavens, down through our strong base and core into the earth. And feeling that moment of connection with all that is. And I invite us to offer our palms upward, to feel the palms opening to all that is possible, to all that is gentle and kind. And imagining now bringing into those palms a tiny, tiny feather of a chick, of a spring baby bird of some sort. Maybe it's just a downy feather or a tiny piece of life which lives, which is soft and fluffy and brings us to feeling the tenderness that is there resting in our palms. Feeling opening those palms to that gentleness. And on an inhale breath, maybe bringing that sense of peaceful gentleness to heart and feeling how that sits down in our belly that is so strong and yet so light and fluffy. And I invite us now to take that fluff ball in our hands and maybe just circulate it around. Beautiful little chick of a spring baby. Bring it into your forehead, or your throat, or your heart, as maybe calling to you, and internalizing that beauty of light. A new life, a new spring, and a softening to the gentleness that is within all and that is without. In this time of the snake year, we're invited to listen closely to Pachamama, to be belly to belly with this earth as she resonates with us. And I love to think of the beauty way as it slithers through. And releasing with an exhale breath and coming back into body and opening our eyes and feeling the joy, having a new life, a new lightness, a new connection to this beautiful Mother Earth.
Mm. Thank you, my dear sister, Martha.
Thank you for allowing.
Mm.
Jill, you're such an inspiration for the women that gather with you, the men who come to your presence. I feel such gratitude for the times that you and I have been able to spend together in sacred space and other space. Mm.
Just feeling the three mothers as you put your beautiful softening scarf around you, just like the Virgin Mother Mary, right? It is so beautiful. Such
It's
beauty, such
it's
grace.
I find I laugh at myself a lot as I do so enjoy um, the accoutrements, the silliness of what just putting up colorful fabric around my body can feel like. And it just allows this change to come within. So I
Yes.
laugh and yet acknowledge and enjoy.
Exactly. No judgment. And I will be doing that this evening. Um, just want to say thank you for being here, for sharing your pearls of wisdom on your journey, because it's a journey for all of us, to the divine feminine and learning that dance, learning the beauty, as you said, in this year of the wood snake. Yeah, allowing to just let go and that softness of the new skin, which is sometimes vulnerable, but just allowing that softness, the beauty, the grace. That's what's coming through is the grace.
I feel our moments of connection are when I become vulnerable, this is when I am most able to connect.
Mm.
It's, yeah, it takes that opening, that softening. Yeah. And trust in our love, our possibilities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we could talk all day, Martha, and I just want to thank all the listeners out there, and hopefully there was some softness there for you. This beautiful, beautiful meditation. Thank you again, Martha. And just want to say that if you'd like to reach out to Martha, a beautiful energy medicine practitioner, you can reach her. Her website is www.oceanofjoyhealing.com. I will put that in the description box below, and I will include her email. You can reach out to her. Um, Thank you so much. As
Thank
we
you,
never say
sister.
goodbye, we never say goodbye. We always say, we see you around the fire, right? Where our ancestors had that ancient fire. And there's so many practices that we do in this lineage. And there's so many other practices. Again, like you said, the yogic, the softness. I love the scarf, the beautiful softness around that.
Mm.
Thank you all. Wishing you many blessings and aloha.
See you
Thank
at
you.
the fire, Jill.
Aho.